Hey YouTubers, got another video review for you today. Well, this is my latest purchase. It's a 2019 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. It's the ES trim package, and I've been driving it the last few thousand miles. I've had it about a month, and just wanted to tell you some things that I really like about the car and some things that I just hate about the car. You know, it drives me crazy. So, you know, if you're interested in the Mitsubishi Mirage, then you definitely want to watch this video, because this is a no BS kind of review. I'm going to tell you the ins and outs and the maintenance involved in the vehicle, and so, you know, just stick around. Before we get into the car, I just wanted to show you the key. This is the key on this side. You flip it over, then it's got the fob built into the key. And it's got the panic button, the lock and unlock. It's just your standard key. I just wanted to show you that. Now, some of the other higher end trim models on these Mirages have the push button start. So if that's something you're interested in, then you might want to go to a higher trim package. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and walk you around the vehicle and just tell you about it. First things first, this is the red wine metallic paint, so I thought it was a really nice looking color. Only bad thing about dark colors is, you know, they seem to look dirty all the time. So, you know, you do have to keep it washed. You know, if I was going to wanted something that is going to look cleaner, I would go with a white or a lighter color car. It just seems like it hides the dirt a little bit better. I know what you're saying, that don't make much sense, but you know, Google it. So if I had to do it over again, I would definitely have went with a lighter color, even though this color here is beautiful. And so anyways, the girlfriend liked this color paint, so that's why we went with this wine color. But you know, one other advantage is to going with a lighter colors. It's going to stay cooler, so keep that in mind. I'm going to walk you around the vehicle and just give you a nice little look around. You can see that got a nice chrome grille. I like that. That accents that red wine color really well, and I just think it looks pretty sharp. You know, there's not much you can do to spruce these subcompacts up, because they're not a, you know, very fancy car. It's just a car to get you from point A to point B. So anyways, if you're looking for a car that's going to have great gas mileage, and this one here, it's great. It's 35 in the city, 41 in the highway. So I mean, you're not going to find a car that's in this price range that gets this good a gas mileage, and you know, that has this kind of warranty. So anyways, this vehicle has a 9.2 gallon gas tank, so it's really tiny. So, you know, the fill-ups on this thing anywhere are, you know, $15-18, and that, you know, I filled up this weekend, and I was able to fill it up with premium for 18 bucks. I have filled it up, I think, for around $13 before. So, you know, it's really great on gas, and does come in an automatic and a manual. This one here is the automatic CVT transmission, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But you know, as far as power, this car don't have a whole lot of power. It does have 78 horsepower. I know that's hilarious, and half the dealerships that I went to was calling this thing a 4-cylinder, and it's not. It's a 3-cylinder. So you know, if you're not familiar with a 3-cylinder, they've been around for a long time. I remember the Geo Metros had those 3-cylinder engines in there, and so they've been around for a long time. So it's nothing new. It's just a 3-cylinder. It's just one less cylinder than a 4-cylinder. So, you know, that's how they are able to maintain that fuel economy. And so this vehicle don't have a whole lot of power, but it has enough. Once you get it up to speed on the interstate, it has plenty enough power. Now around town, it has plenty enough power. You're not going to win any drag races in it, but you know, I think like, again, for the price and the warranty, I don't think you can beat the vehicle. If you're in the market right now for a subcompact, then and you're looking at a Chevy, Ford, Honda, Toyota, then their warranty can't even come near the warranty that's on the Mitsubishi Mirage, because they all offer a 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty, where this one here has a 10-year 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. The only other vehicles that's even comparable as far as the warranty goes is a Kia and a Hyundai, and they both have the 100,000 mile warranty as well. So but I'll go ahead and let you know, you're not going to be able to buy a Kia or a Hyundai for what you could go out and purchase a Mitsubishi Mirage. So keep that in mind. Now I went ahead and popped the hood. Just wanted to show you up underneath at that little 1.2 liter 3-cylinder, and it's a really tiny motor. I mean, it's so tiny you could almost pick it up and set it in there yourself. It don't weigh that much. The whole car only weighs about 2,100 to 2,200 pounds, somewhere in there. So it's a really light car. And you know, the good thing about this motor is it's so small that, you know, there's quite a bit of room to get in there to work on stuff. So, you know, if you're like me and you like tinkering on stuff and being able to change your own alternator, or, you know, belts and all that kind of stuff, everything is just right here in the front where you can get to it. You've got your tensioner right here and your belts right here. So, you know, there's part of your maintenance right there. You know, you want to change the air filter, you got your filter box right here. You just pull these little clips back and voila, yeah, there's your air filter. You want to change the battery out, you can actually get to it. You don't have to, you know, go to a lot of trouble. And so that is a good advantage to having a smaller motor in a car. You know, you can actually work on it. And you know, the way that they're able to be able to power a car like this with just like 70 something horsepower is there's no power steering. There's no engine powered power steering. It's all electric, and so you don't have to deal with that power steering taking away power from the engine, you know, because like I said, it's an electric power steering. And so that is an advantage. You don't have to have a power steering pump. So, you know, the maintenance on this vehicle is very minimal. When you go to change the oil, it only takes like 3.2 quarts of oil. I believe it's 3.2 or 3.3 quarts of oil. So, you know, that's the cheapest oil change you can imagine. And so the oil filters are really cheap. I buy the cheap ones from Walmart, the Super Tech ones, and they're only just like $3 a piece. So, you know, you can easily get away with, you know, if you're running synthetic in there, I can usually buy synthetic oil for, you know, $3 or $4 a quart, and, you know, a $3 oil filter. So you figure $3.69 for the oil, then $10, $11, $12 for the filter. So easily a $12-15 oil change, depending on what kind of oil you run in it. And I'm talking, you know, I usually run the synthetic in it. So anyways, as far as oil changes, it's really cheap. I don't think you're gonna find a cheaper oil change than the Mitsubishi Mirage. It runs on 0-20 weight oil. So, you know, that's one of their little tricks to help with fuel economy. Running that thinner oil, less resistance means more fuel economy. So you know, I was able to find some the other day, some synthetic engine oil at Walmart. They had marked it down on clearance to $3.50 for 5 quarts. So I bought 3 quarts. So got plenty of oil changes ahead of me. So if you shop around, sometimes you can find good deals like that. So anyways, now aside from you know, changing your oil like I just told you about, and changing your belts and you know, replacing your tires, which tires for this vehicle are really cheap as well. These are 14s. They do offer a 15 in some of the other trim packages. So 14 and 15 inch tires are really cheap as well. And as far as the maintenance on the transmission, this one here has the CVT automatic transmission in it, and the way that you maintenance it is pretty much just like an oil change. There is a drain plug on the bottom of the pan, and you take that drain plug out and you go and purchase yourself 3 quarts of the Mitsubishi brand CVT tranny fluid, and then you fill it back up, and it's got a tube right here at the top. You just pull that out, put your funnel down in there, and then you put the recommended amount back. And like I said, you only have to buy 3 quarts because it only takes somewhere, I believe it was let's see, I think it was like 2.6 quarts of oil to do a tranny service on here. So again, you can do it yourself. It's pretty much like an oil change, or you can take it to a dealership, and they're not going to charge you much to do a transmission service on there, because it don't take much time at all to do it. So anyways, the transmission service is going to be really cheap. And to be honest with you, a lot of the newer vehicles, they have a sealed transmission in them, where you have to take it to a dealership for them to be able to do the service on it. That's what I like about the Mitsubishi. You can just do the service yourself. I think it's recommended that you change that transmission fluid every 50,000 miles. So that's not bad. 3 quarts of fluid. I did check the price of the fluid. It's anywhere from $10 to $15 a quart, and I would shop around. And be honest with you, I wouldn't put any other kind of fluid in it other than the Mitsubishi fluid. I don't like mixing those fluids. As far as the transmission fluid goes, I don't want there to be any problems. So when it's time to switch mine out, I'm gonna put the Mitsubishi brand, pay the little extra money, and make sure you get the right stuff. As far as the air filter goes, you can purchase an air filter for this vehicle for like $15 or less on eBay, Amazon, or if you want to just make a one-time purchase and purchase the K&N filter for it. They do make a K&N filter that fits in the stock filter housing. They're like 40 something bucks. They're washable, and so that way you don't ever have to keep buying filters for it. And the same thing goes with the oil filter. If you don't like buying oil filters over and over again, just buy you a reusable oil filter. I can go ahead and recommend the K&P Engineering oil filters. They make an excellent filter. I actually have one on my 2017 GMC Sierra truck, and I absolutely love it. About $150 for the filter, but when it's time to replace it, you just clean it out and put it right back on there. And so it saves you over time of cost on oil filters. So that's just something to think about. So anyways, again, the maintenance on this vehicle is very, very minimal, and so that's one reason why I really like the Mitsubishi Mirage. Now this particular model here didn't come with the factory installed fog lights. It's no big deal. If you want those factory fog lights, they're very inexpensive. You can buy a kit online for like right around $100, and it comes with the 2 fog lights, the wiring, and a switch to do it yourself. And so I thought, I'll pass on getting the fog lights and not pay that extra amount that the factory wanted to include the fog lights. And after I drove the vehicle, I thought, the regular lights in here are plenty bright enough. And if they're not bright enough for you, then you can always replace the bulbs. They make some of the higher end Sylvania bulbs. They were the ones that are supposed to be the brightest ones that they sell. I checked the price on them. I think they're right around $44 for the pair. So if you want to put some brighter bulbs in there, you can. I didn't have any problems seeing, but that's just one thing that's important to me, is the headlights. I want to be able to see where I'm going, and didn't have any problems with these. But like I said, if you want to replace them, it's very easy to get to the bulbs. You just pop them out right there, and then on the other side it's just as easy to pop the bulb out. You can actually get your hand in there. And so that's what I said. This vehicle's very easy to work on and do all your normal maintenance. Now on to the back of the vehicle. I wanted to show you all the room that you have in the trunk, and you know, you're going to be pretty impressed with all the room. Got a pretty big trunk. Now the one thing that I wish Mitsubishi would have put on the key fob was a trunk button where it'd pop it open, but you know, it's very simple. But anyways, I just put just a rubber mat in here this last week from a company called the FH Group. I'll try to show their logo. You can see their logo right there. But I paid like I don't know, 30 bucks for a cargo mat to go on the back of here, and it fits really well. So make sure you watch my video on that. I'll show you how to trim it to get it to fit. And just wanted to leave this travel bag in here to show you just how big the trunk actually is. The trunk is rated at 12.3 cubic feet of cargo space, and if you look up in there, you can see that it has a pass-through that goes into the back seat. Now, as I'm closing the trunk, just wanted to show you that it comes with a backup camera. There's the actual camera right there. Fits right up underneath that lip and right above the license plate. Does a really good job at showing you on your display just what's behind you. All right, I'm going to show you inside the back. As you can see, got nice door panels. They're just really plain. And as far as the back seat, it's just cloth interior. Nothing real fancy, just your basic. But we don't want to pay that high price tag for something with leather that's going to be hot or cold every time you get in it, and then having to worry about conditioning the leather and putting treatment on it and dealing with rips and tears and all that kind of stuff. And so we just ended up getting the basic fabric. So anyways, you can see the first thing that caught my eye was, since I'm a big guy, I'm 6'1", about 300 pounds, there's quite a bit of room, leg room in the back seat, and you can see that, you know, there's just plenty of room, and that is with the front seats all the way back, and they're tilted back as well. So, you know, even with them pushed all the way back and tilted back, you can easily put a big guy in the back seat just like me and be comfortable. Now, would I want to ride cross country in this thing? No, because, you know, the seats don't have a whole lot of cushion in them, and, you know, I don't know very many vehicles where the back seat is that comfortable that I'd want to drive cross country anyways. But anyways, the seats could use a little more cushion in them. But, you know, as far as, you know, just riding around town or whatever, going on short trips, perfectly fine. I mean, you have plenty enough room. And just to prove it to you, you can see that I'm sitting in here, and, you know, even with the door closed, that I still have plenty enough room. You know, my legs are right there at the back of the seat. They're not digging into the seat, but I'm comfortable back here. Wouldn't have any problems. Now I wanted to show you the pull down for the back seat. It's got this little plastic, hard shell plastic tray that snaps up to close off the back seat. And then you've got this little console that comes down. It's really, really tiny. It feels kind of flimsy, but you know, it's fine. Don't know that it would hold 2 drinks, maybe 2 canned drinks, but, you know, not 2 big belly busters like you'd find from the convenience store. So, you know, keep that in mind. No big deal. So first things first, when you enter the vehicle, you've got some things down here beside the seat that I never seen on another vehicle like this. And what that is the jack, the jack the vehicle up if you needed to put a spare tire on. So I guess they just, I don't know why they would put it up underneath the front seat, but that's one thing that I'm not too happy about. I don't know why they couldn't have just stuck it in the trunk somewhere. I just find it very tacky to put it up underneath the front seat. So, you know, Mitsubishi, if you're watching, that's a bad idea. Another thing is right here in the floorboard, you've got, well, a piece of trash, but you've got your trunk release right here, and then you've got your fuel tank release, your little fuel cap release. You know what I'm talking about. Little cap right here, just pops open. And then once you get on in, I'll show you some more features. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. It's about 90 something degrees here in Tennessee. Let me turn the radio off. Sorry, I've got the wipers and stuff going. I'd washed the vehicle last night so it would look nice for the video today. And so anyways, first things first, you've got these little vents, and you can turn them around like that. So that is pretty handy. You can get the air right where you want it. Then there's another one on the other side. As you can tell, that's the girlfriend's side. She keeps it closed off. But as far as, you know, the basic features, it has all those. You know, it's got your power adjustable mirrors, your left and your right. It has traction control right here. And then, you know, if you opted for the higher model with the fog lights, then this is where the switch would be. And like I said, if you want to add the fog lights to this vehicle, spend about $100, and you can buy the aftermarket ones and put them in yourself, and then that's where the switch mounts in the factory location. And so I might eventually do that, but you know, it's not on the top priority list. Like I said, the headlights are really good on this vehicle, or I found them to be adequate. As far as the stereo and everything, stereo is fine. It's got a nice push button, and you've got the buttons here on the side. So it is a touch screen. It does have the Bluetooth. It works with the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto, so it works with both of those, and I know it works flawless. My girlfriend has the iPhone 6s, and I have the Galaxy S8, and we have it paired to both phones, and it's really simple to do. And you know, she calls me on her way home from work in the afternoons, and she don't have any problems with hearing me or any of that. And you know, it's the stereo and the calling feature is really handy to have. So she's already got the presets in here for the radio, and as far as the media center here goes, it's really nice. And I wanted to show you the backup camera. I go ahead and put the vehicle in reverse, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a burn barrel right in there. And then you can see, I'm going to turn the wheel and get close to it. Now, one thing that I noticed on this backup camera is a little different than the camera that's in my GMC Sierra. Like whenever I turn my steering wheel in my Sierra, these lines right here on the backup camera change, and it shows you the direction that you're going. Well, on this Mitsubishi, it doesn't change. The lines just stay exactly where they are, so you have to just watch out where you're going. And as you can see, you know, it picks up really well. And by the time I upload this video to YouTube, I don't know how good of quality it'll be on the on this video, but in person, it's got a pretty good backup camera. Now, my gripe to the backup camera is the windshield right here. If you look across the top, there's no tint, and except right in here, there's some tinting around the rear view mirror. my plan is to take and put like a little strip of tint that goes across the top of the windshield, and I already have it done in my truck right now as well. And the reason I want to put some tint over there is so when the sun's shining and you're using your backup camera or trying to find a radio channel that you want to listen to, sometimes that sun shines down on that display and it makes it kind of hard for you to see that backup camera or the radio display. So like I said, I am going to put some window tint across the top, and that way you can view that camera and the screen a whole lot better. So that is just an easy fix. Now, as far as the size of the touchscreen, it's a 7-inch, and it is pretty big. It's actually one of the bigger touchscreens that I've seen in such a small car. I know some of the other touchscreens and some of the higher end trucks are not as big as this. And if you're wondering, if something like this was to break down, what would it cost me to replace? Let's say somebody hit the screen and shattered it. You could buy a replacement radio with that touchscreen in there for $200. And the reason that I know that is because I had looked at a used Mitsubishi Mirage, and the screen was damaged. The guy said he hit it with his briefcase, and when he was getting in and out, and he said that you could buy a new radio for around $200 and something dollars. And so I looked on eBay, and sure enough, I did find one on there for like $200. So that's not over the top expensive for a replacement if something went wrong with it, and it's plug and play. So you just unplug it from the back, and now you've got a new radio in there for like $200 to $300, depending on if you buy one off eBay, used one, or if you try to buy one from the factory, I'm sure it'd cost you more. But anyways, there's a lot of these vehicles around, and so you shouldn't have any problems trying to find a replacement if you need one. Now, as far as the rest of the vehicle, it's got your basic, it's got your your power windows, and it's got your power locks, and everything works great. Right in here, you've got your adjustment for your headlights, your turn signals. All that's pretty much standard on every vehicle. Then on this side, you've got your intermittent wipers, and you can adjust the speed of those wipers. Not a big deal, very, very standard. And as far as the instrument panel, it has the tachometer here on the left. I'll give it a little gas so you can see, and that's nice to have that. You've got a 140 mile an hour speedometer. You'll never use that because it's never going to get to 140 mile an hour, I can promise you. I don't know why they would put that up there to 140 mile an hour. I guess they might have reused it on several other vehicles or something, I'm not sure. But as far as like a temperature gauge, that's one thing that I would like to see Mitsubishi incorporate on this on a new model is put a temp gauge down there and let you know just how hot the engine is getting, and in case something was to happen. I'm sure it has an idiot light that would pop on, but it's nice to monitor the temperature and all that. So I know that's me just being over the top, but I don't always trust those idiot lights to pop on, so I prefer a manual temperature gauge. And as far as your gas gauge, it's going to take a little getting used to. You can see right there at the bottom, it's got just that little bitty strip right in there. It's dark on top, and that lets you know I've got a full tank of gas. And then you've got the P beside it, and it lets you know it's in park. Now it's in reverse, and then back in park again. And as far as the gas gauge, when you start getting low of gas, then the blocks will shrink down, and then they'll start flashing. When you're down to your final one and you're about to run out of gas, it'll start flashing to let you know. But it's a very simple gauge cluster, and like I said, It's got a econo light right over here when you're riding down the road and you're getting the perfect gas mileage. Then that econo light will pop on and let you know. And you know, then your typical turn signals, and then your high beams, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it has all the seat belt warning lights, and then down on the bottom there it tells you if your traction control's on or off. Just your typical. Now I went ahead and installed a steering wheel cover. It's from FH Group. Check out my video on that. And you know, it's just a little $35 accessory that you know, makes it a little more nice of a grip. But as far as the other features, you've got your radio control right here. You can adjust the sound level. There's up, there's down, and then you can scan to different stations. And then also you have your different modes for calling over here. And then on this side you have your cruise control, and this is how you turn it on and off. And then mash down on this button to set the cruise control. And if you want to raise the speed a little higher, then you just mash on it and it jumps by like 1 mile per hour every time you touch that button. Or if you want to slow it down, just touch it one time and it drops it down. Or if you want to just cancel it. And so as far as the cruise, it works great. And then over here to the air conditioner. Now it's got a good air conditioner in it. You know, on these really hot days, sometimes when I get in the vehicle and let's say it's like 100 degrees out, then it does take it a few minutes to get really cold in here. And you know, maybe it needs maybe a bigger compressor or something. But you know, once you're riding on the interstate, it doesn't have any problems getting cold enough. But let's say, you know, it's a really hot day and you're just driving slow speeds, or it's not going to get super cold. So I always usually find myself running the air conditioner on usually a 3 or a 4. So anyways, but it does very adequate. I don't think most people would notice. I like it very frigid in my vehicle though, so I'm just a cold-natured or a hot-natured person, and I like for it to be cold in here. So anyways, now as far as leg space, like I said, I'm 6'1", and I've got plenty enough room in the front of this thing. And I like the way that the front of this car is laid out, because when I drive, I like having my legs open here in the middle. I don't like being crunched up. And a lot of these vehicles now have this console, and my leg rubs up against it. Well, with this one here, the console is so low that you can just open your leg right up and you don't feel crunched down there in the man region